Okay, have you guys ever been on a really terrible first date?
Yeah.
Do you guys have any like really horrible first date experiences?
I've been stood up once. That was my horrible first date experience.
We have to talk about this. This is weird.
I bought a girl ice cream once. She didn't even say thank you.
The arrangements are made. We have dinner set at a pretty nice restaurant, and I go to the restaurant. You know, I show up a little bit later because I don't like one sitting there. But anyways, I show up. She's there. I walk over, introduce myself to her, reach out for a handshake, and when I do this, she grabs my hand and it like hurts because she has these giant man hands.
Yeah, I've had a bad first date. We were supposed to be going to a movie and he awkwardly didn't have enough money, so I ended up paying.
And seriously though, how ungrateful can you get? I mean, $5 for ice cream, that's a lot of money. I only get like, what, $100 a month from my parents? I don't work, I don't have a job. $5 for ice cream, girl, say thank you, at least a hug.
Have you ever had a really horrible first date?
I have. It was pretty bad. He came over to my room and we were talking, and apparently he had different alternatives than I did. Didn't turn out so well.
Not really.
No.
So I asked this girl, Skylar, out on a date, and I was really excited about it. And she volunteered to drive, and so we were driving down to the movie theater, and we get there, and it was Hangover 2, which was a movie I was really excited to see. And get in the movie theaters, I passed out within 5 minutes of the movie starting, and woke up during the credits, and then was pretty groggy on the ride back home as well. So I kind of blew it, but yeah, that's my story.
Have you ever been on a really bad first date?
Yes, I met him and he talked about his mom the entire time.
Took her to a sushi restaurant. I didn't make a reservation, I had forgotten, so they put us in the very back of the restaurant, in the very corner, right next to the kitchen. I didn't really think things through too well, and sushi is a very, you have a very full mouth when you're eating sushi, so there was no talking. It was very awkward through the whole thing. Plus, at one point during the dinner, I spilled soy sauce all over the front of my shirt. So
He had kids.
Have you ever been in a really horrible first date?
Yeah. It was after work, and he took me to the movies, and I was like passing out in the chair, and then he tried to like kiss me on the way out, and I got really awkward and like actually did like spinning away to like, I don't know, get away from him. And then I had to see him the next day at work, and it was even more awkward. Yeah.
Like, they're more muscular than mine. They're big. They're like veiny. It's like these just giant like gorilla hands, really. And I'm sitting like, okay, that's, I don't know if I can do this. He's like giant man hands. So sitting there eating dinner, trying to like keep up conversation, but really my mind's just racing on these hands. You know, she's sitting there like popping beers, like no bottle opener, like what, like. And then at one point, apparently I had some little food on my face or something, and she's like, it's like, oh, you got something on your face. Started reaching. I'm like, oh, I can get it. I got it. And I went to wipe. She's like, no, it's still there. I'm like, no, it's still there. And she reaches just this giant hand, just like on my face. I'm being smothered. Terrible experience with these man hands. Yeah, that was the whole night just thinking, I can't do these hands. You know, said our goodbyes, left, never called her again. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, so I went on a date with a girl, and she told me that she had to be back by 8 o'clock, which I thought was, you know, that's very adult of her to, you know, make sure she's back on the correct time. Until I discovered that apparently she had to, because the police tell her that's the latest she can be out. So that was fun.
Alright, first date I went on, well, I'm allergic to cats, and went over to his house. And of course I broke out in hives. He had 3 cats. I didn't know what to do.
And her brother, her little stepbrother, was on the couch and had like a throw pillow by his head with like tassels, so it looked like hair. And so I asked her stepdad. I didn't know that she had a little sister, and he said that it was actually a boy, and so it was pretty awkward and had to go home.
I mean, it was Cold Stone. How many people love Cold Stone in this world? Tons of people love Cold Stone. If you get Cold Stone for free, you're like probably the luckiest person in the world. Why wouldn't you say thank you? Seriously. It's absolutely absurd.
So I was a really bad first date. We ended up going to a movie theater and we saw Transformers, and I ended up passing out in the middle of the movie and like slept through most of it, and then woke up and I was like, sorry.
What's it called? Like one of the, like those bimbos. Those bimbo cheerleaders in movies. You know those?
Mm-hmm.
She talked like that all the time and I hated it. She always talked about a guy friend, never a girl. She always talked about like how amazing her guy friends are and everything while we were on dates all the time. She was really fucking annoying.
Hot dogs are ready.
She had an extra nipple.
We took her to a fancy restaurant and she just goes, let's do this thing. I'm like, what thing? She's like, well, I watched it on Ellen, everyone's doing it, please say that you'll do it with me. I'm like, okay, sure. She's like, alright, so, okay, hypothetically, if you and I end up having a relationship, we have to come up with a list of 5 people we're allowed to sleep with outside the relationship. And I'm like, okay, long-term planning, but alright, go ahead. And she's like, alright, I've already done my list. She like plops it down within 5 minutes of sitting down. Alright, it's a bit predictable. Number 1 was Christian Bale, number 2 was Brad Pitt, number 3 was Johnny Depp, number 4, I don't care, I lost count after that point. And she was just like, okay, well, I'll just go to the ladies room, freshen myself up, I'll give you time to come up with your list, and you know, you can come in and we'll talk about it. So she goes to the bathroom, I've got no idea what the hell I'm going to write. And so I just started like, writing down things I would do. And she comes back, she goes, have you got your list? I'm like, sure, okay. Number 1, your sister. She didn't let me finish off and go to number 2. She literally just got a glass of wine, splashed me in the face, called me a pig, and she walked out. Good news was I had a lot of good steak on that date, so yeah, that happened.
I decided to be a little romantic because I really liked this girl and invited her over to my place. You know, I had the candles going and I was like, I'm gonna cook because girls love guys that cook. So I thought I'd wow her with an authentic Austrian schnitzel. I thought it tasted pretty good, but it turns out she had food poisoning for the rest of the week.
Yes, I have actually. A friend of mine at Michigan State and I were at a bar. It was kind of very low lighting and we didn't really talk to them that much. We asked them to go out the following week, and the next week we went to pick them up. And when we got there, my date was there, but my friend's date, my date told us that her friend had met some other guy earlier, and she wasn't around. You know, and this seemed very rude to me. I drove my friend back to the dorm and went to the movies with this girl, and everything she said just made me realize that I should not have gone out with this girl. You know, I was talking about that my friend was a physiology major, and she said, oh, he studies the stars. After the movie, we were going to go out to the bar where we had met, and I told her that I had left my ID, my driver's license in the car. So I told her to wait there and I would get the driver's license and come back, and I just went back to the car and drove away, which I realized was a very bad thing to do, but it was just the mood I was in that night, and people do crazy things, and that was the crazy thing that I did.
The end.